It was just past dusk when her message lit up my screen. "I'm home waiting for you. Come back soon." Harmless words to most. Sweet even. But in my world, language is never innocent. A slow smile tugged at my mouth as I typed back. "Interesting, considering I can see you on the hidden cam." Clara, my wife for 6 unpredictable years, had always craved control. In the beginning it came off as playful confidence. A teasing tug-of-war that added spark to everything we touched. But somewhere along the way that spark twisted into something darker. Manipulation, secrecy, and a hunger for attention she didn't bother hiding anymore. Trips that came out of nowhere. Friends I'd never heard of. Nights she disappeared behind vague excuses and louder laughter than she ever shared with me. Every layer of her life had started to feel like a performance I wasn't invited to watch. I remembered the night I installed the hidden cameras. Not because I wanted to spy, because experience had taught me that people reveal their truth only when they believe they're unobserved. And tonight, Clara was about to reveal everything. The flight home dragged on endlessly, each passing hour stretching my thoughts tighter. All week she had been unusually cheerful, constantly glued to her phone, brushing off time with me as though it were optional. I didn't confront her then. I simply observed. Tonight the observing would end. By the time I reached our building, the apartment windows glowed faintly behind the blinds. I stepped inside quietly, letting the door shut with a soft click that went unnoticed. She was standing in the living room laughing at something on her phone, too freely, too comfortably. Like she was sharing a private moment with someone not named her husband. I stood in the shadows, silent and unmoving, watching her. The little smile curving her lips. The nervous way she kept glancing at her messages. The sparkle in her eyes reserved for someone else. She had no idea I was there. No idea I was watching the truth unfold inch by inch, breath by breath. Her reflection flashed in the mirror as she fixed her hair, humming softly, her version of freedom. Her version of control. The exact thing she believed she had over me. But I had learned to read her the way some people read music. Every gesture, every pause, every false note. And tonight her body language screamed confessions she would never speak aloud. She moved to the kitchen, pouring herself a glass of wine. The carefree facade slipped for half a second. Her breath hitched, her movements slowed. A tiny instinct in her gut whispered that something was wrong. Let it whisper. Her fingers trembled slightly as she lifted the glass. She wasn't sure why, but I was. She could feel the shift, the presence, the truth pressing in on her even if she couldn't name it yet. That was when I stepped out of the shadows. Slow, controlled, unavoidable. Her entire body locked in place. The wine glass rattled lightly against her fingers. She turned toward me, startled, fear flickering in her eyes. "Funny," I said quietly, lifting my glass. "You said you were home waiting for me. Meanwhile, you didn't even notice I've been here the whole time." My voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Calm truth cuts sharper than anger ever will. Her lips parted, no sound came out. She knew exactly what I meant. The lies, the secrets, the late nights and hidden smiles. All of it laid bare without me having to raise a single accusation. I watched realization ripple across her face. Every nervous twitch. Every failed attempt at maintaining her composure. Every silent confession. I set my glass down with slow precision. "I trusted you," I said, my voice steady, almost sorrowful. "I gave you space. I gave you respect. And you chose to fill that space with secrecy. With games. With someone else's attention." Her gaze dropped instantly, shame burning across her cheeks. She swallowed hard, trying to muster an excuse, but I stopped her with one raised hand. "No, don't explain. Your actions have said enough." The apartment seemed to shrink around her, the weight of reality settling like stones on her shoulders. The excitement she chased so desperately had followed her home tonight, but not as joy, as judgment. She sank into a chair, silent, exposed, finally stripped of the control she clung to for years. I walked toward the window, leaving her to face the consequences she had spent so long pretending didn't exist. Tonight wasn't a fight. It wasn't a confrontation. It was a quiet, undeniable reckoning. And as I stared out into the dim city lights, one truth settled cold and solid in my chest. Whatever happened to our marriage next, one thing was certain. I would never ignore deception again. Not from her. Not from anyone.